Welcome to the Alien Portal podcast, where we ask the questions to the most out of this world topic, explore the world of ufology and ancient historical evidence of aliens. Come along for the ride while we learn of the existence of and coexistence with beings out of this world. Thank you for joining us today. I am Chris, your host, and with me again I have my friend B. B,
Hello, hello.
would you like to say a few words to the audience?
Sure. It's very nice to see you. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. I wanted to start off with talking about Mars Attacks, which is one of my favorite films about aliens, and it's hysterical. Glenn Close is in it, and everybody knows she's pretty darn amazing. And the aliens are hysterical because they're these little small creatures with an exposed brain that's in a bubble, and they come in and they start zapping all the people. And they come in, they take over Washington, take over the president, and mass chaos ensues. So if you haven't seen it, it's really, really fun and funny. And I also think it's pertinent for our conversation today.
Yes, today we'll be discussing the so called invasion of the skies of Washington, D.C. in 1952. So,
Cool.
what do we know about this so far?
We know that basically several people saw it, and the Air Force saw it and wanted to talk about it, but it was quickly dismissed and covered over and made to be something else or completely ignored. And then they had the Runesfeld session and or panel, and they basically decided that it was all bogus.
Yes, the
And
Robertson
that's all I
panel.
know. Robertson side.
Yeah, today this is going to be primarily of the Washington, D.C. 1952 invasion. The Robertson panel will be discussing on another podcast.
Okay.
It did involve uh, radar. Do you know what radar does and how it works?
Basically, we radar is don't we bounce stuff off of a solid object and it comes back and we're able to see what it is in space?
Yeah, just like sound, radar waves bounce off solid objects. This
Hmm.
provides an image that can be determined by approximate size, speed, and you could even tell the shape sometimes.
Mm,
Uh,
that's
that
cool.
is that is the simplified explanation of what radar is.
So if
Uh,
somebody's freezer fell out of the sky, we would know it's a freezer.
we will know it's an object that's probably a little squarish or rectangulish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, it had also had visuals from radar towers uh, and the and from fighter pilots. So visually, people on the ground saw this, and fighter pilots saw it in the sky. These anomalies,
That would
and
scare me. I'd be like, I didn't plan on a light show.
mm-hmm, no, nobody did. It happened two consecutive weekends, so it didn't just happen in one day. Happened in two consecutive weekends. So that's
Oh,
very
wow.
odd, ain't it?
Yeah, I thought it just happened once, so it happened twice.
Yes, me too. I only thought it happened once, but when I did my research, it turns out that it happened two consecutive weekends. And the story is very lengthy, but here we're doing the abridged version.
Mhm. Right.
So it happened July 19th and on July the 20th and July 26th and July 27th. That
Mm.
is that is 4 days of visualizing items in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even the director of Project Blue Book, he was in Washington D.C. on the weekend of the 19th and the 20th, but he did not learn about the phenomenon until the 21st when he read the newspaper.
Really.
Yeah. So it was something
I bet
that
he was so disappointed that he didn't get to see it. He's like, really? Of all the things to miss, I had to miss this. What the hell?
yeah, of all the things, yeah, I'm sure I would have been upset too.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is the whole purpose, the reason to Etra, the purpose of being, and so all of a sudden you don't get to see it. You're the only one in Washington who missed it. Oh, that's cold. That's so cold.
Well, Ruppelt made an attempt to interview witnesses, but he couldn't.
Mm,
Guess why?
why?
He
They
was
disappeared?
no. Well, he was denied access to a car by the Pentagon. He,
What?
yeah. So
For
he
real?
went to the Pentagon and asked for a car so he can drive around Washington D.C. to interview these people, and they straight up told him that you can take a taxi with your own money.
See, all right, now here comes the question. Somebody he's still a skeptic, so I guess he figured it wasn't worth it. But most people who'd be this hot to trot are like, okay, fine. I'll take a taxi. I'll take a cab. I'll even hit up a car and take it that too. I'm not endorsing crime, by the way. But, it'd be like, hey, there's a way to get there.
Yeah, and you need transportation over there. It's a
Yeah, no,
big
it's
area.
crowded.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He was told that he could take a taxi, like I said, and he then I guess he was so upset he flew back to Wright Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio, uh,
Uh,
and he later on he did his investigation from over there, where he asked this Air Force radar specialist,
hmm.
Roy James, and Roy James told him that he felt that the phenomenon could be explained by a weather anomaly.
Mm,
So
okay.
when he
So
wrote his,
what was the anomaly?
we'll talk about that right now. So
Okay.
when he wrote his investigation,
Hmm.
he he pretty much just said that hey, it's a weather anomaly. So he didn't complete his investigation properly because he couldn't. The Pentagon wouldn't allow him to,
Mm, okay.
and he just went with
Nothing like good old Uncle Sam interfering.
yeah. So he went with what he could,
Hmm.
and that was a radar specialist far away in the Air Force that didn't even see the anomaly himself.
Ah, see, that's what I was going to ask if he was actually a witness. So he just is basically interpreting the radar or the data from the radar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Well, the second weekend, that was the first weekend. The second weekend, July 26th to the 27th, had fighter pilots engaging UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
The conclusion for the sightings ended up being temperature inversions. You know what a temperature inversion is? I didn't know what a temperature inversion was. I had to read on
When the
this.
temperature's turned inside out, I don't know.
Well, according to NOAA, uh, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration,
Oh,
which
good, not the biblical prophet.
no, another biblical prophet. Generally, a temperature inversion is
Hmm.
a departure from the usual increase or decrease in an atmospheric property with
Hmm.
altitude. Especially, it almost always refers to temperature inversions, i.e., an increase in temperature with height or with layer within which such an increase occurs. An inversion is present in the lower part of a cap. So, don't really understand what exactly a temperature inversion is because I'm not a specialist. But temperature
Hmm.
inversions can also cause thunderstorms. But you're telling me that fire pilots were confused with thunderstorms for a UFO?
Yeah, fighter pilots, they never fly during thunderstorms. They only fly during the best weather ever. They never have a storm or anything like that come up. They don't know how to fly in all conditions. No, no.
Yeah, like like if you read this inversion uh,
Hmm.
definition and you try to put it to what you saw out there or what is on the radar, would you think that that would be a good explanation?
Can radar actually see electrical pulses?
It can see weather anomalies.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like physical objects.
Mm. Well, I personally don't believe that it can work that way. Well, that does it for us today at the Alien Portal podcast. Feel free to leave a comment. I would love to know what you think. Remember to follow us for more content. Thank you for listening. Until next time, my friends. Thank you, B. Any ending remarks?
Yep. Just watch Mars Attacks. You will not regret it.
Yes, you will not regret it. Thank you.
You're welcome.